Today we're going to take a look at the lessons learned through the recession. Now, during that recession, I was running back and forth working for the banks doing short sales, REOs, which are short for foreclosures. There was craziness everywhere. There was a ton of fear, a ton of anxiety. In many cases, working with people, there was a lot of tears. It was a very, very tough time. And through that time, it created the framework for how I like investing going forward, because man, you saw the worst of the worst. And a lot of the investors that I talked to ever since, they didn't go through any of that. And so they talk about things in context, but if you were in high school or you didn't quite understand what that was like and you didn't live through it, it's a little bit different. So today we're gonna talk about 3 lessons. All right, here we go. Number 1, stop looking around at what everyone else is doing because they're most likely wrong. See, before the crash, I was having countless conversations with people about their strategy and what they were doing. And the conversation that kept happening over and over was, I've got 14 properties, I'm gonna continue refinancing and pull out money. And really this house of cards they were creating, everybody knew that they were creating this and it was going to eventually crash. But in that moment, those people could not see that. And so taking the contrarian thought and going, okay, I'm gonna go a different direction. We ended up selling everything that we owned, moved into a rental, and then which I'm pretty sure that my wife was pretty close to divorcing me because it was a horrible rental. But we were in this rental, and then we waited for kind of the trough for 2008 to hit, and that's when we started acquiring and buying and all that fun stuff. But going against the flow and in really having the thought that everyone else is gonna go to the left and we're gonna go to the right, you have to be prepared for the negativity that is going to be directed your way, because it'll be quite a lot. I got told I was a moron, I got told I didn't know what I was doing, that I didn't understand, economics or how real estate worked, and I think we did okay. The whole point is, if you want to be the contrarian, be prepared for the negativity, because it's just all part of the package. And in many cases, it's the fuel a contrarian lives for. Number 2, uncertain markets create the largest amount of wealth. Now, you guys already know this, but when things happen in the crash, it were the people that were able to operate and purchase when everyone else was scared are the ones that ended up making money. And it was difficult because you want to be buying when everyone else is selling. You want to be selling when everyone else is buying. But doing it in the moment, I'm going to tell you, is a lot scarier than it sounds, because you are going against all conventional wisdom. And everyone in your life that you know, many of them are going to sit there and disagree with you. Again, it's part of being a contrarian. You have to be prepared for that. Back when we started acquiring properties, we were acquiring them in 08. That's when it started, 08 through 12, 15, and even beyond. But really, during that time, we went from a market where you would walk near a property and it would get 25 offers to, in 04 and 05, to all of a sudden, we'd have a couple different bidders that we'd be going up against. We had a couple different buyers or negotiating, but it wasn't much. The reason is there was no competition, and nobody wanted real estate. Nobody wanted to touch it with a 10-foot pole. And so it created that lack of competition, created the opportunity. And so as you continue to look at markets and you continue to look at what's going on in the economy, we're always looking for that timing. We're looking for when it's time for us to make that Irish exit and slowly back out of the room as everyone is moving forward very fast. Because the opportunity is not going with that group of people. It is not being a part of the lemmings or the herd mentality. It is doing the opposite. In the moment, it's difficult, but you'll thank me later. Number 3, a long-term investing strategy gives you the greatest chance for creating wealth. Now, we all know you don't wait to buy real estate, you buy real estate and wait. We've learned that, we get that. The problem is a lot of us still have to have lifestyle money. So when we look at the buckets that we talked about earlier, you have the bucket that provides for your lifestyle, and then you have the bucket that creates your net worth. In many cases, we get involved in deals thinking that, okay, I want this to be a long-term play, but then we run out of money, or we want to go on vacation, or we do something else, and we force an asset to mature faster, or we force the sale before the maturity. so that now all of a sudden it feeds this other bucket that we wanted, whatever it was lifestyle-wise. And that's unfortunate because in many cases, I've seen this happen over and over and over with multifamily, where a property went from here to here, they sold prematurely, and if they would have just waited a couple years, they would have sold for a massive amount more. Most of our portfolio, we bought at a price where it was a great price, yes, but we've seen increases of 350+% of value, and that is insane, and I can't get that in many different places. And so again, if we sold prematurely, we would have lost that. So I can tell you, multifamily has some of the best returns when it comes to understanding that long-term vision, because people are gonna need a place to live. They're not making more land, people keep having babies. So that's pretty basic math. Now, product-wise, that's gonna vary, but that's why it comes down to understanding the geographic area that you're looking to invest in. Okay, so those were our lessons learned during the crash. Now, our hope is that it doesn't create more fear. Our hope is that it creates confidence for you to be able to sit there and the next time we get into a market like that, to rather be not be paralyzed by what's going on and run with the herd mentality, but instead to be the contrarian. Trust your gut and know that things are gonna work out in your favor long term. So I really appreciate you guys being here. If you have any additional questions regarding this topic or any of our additional opportunities, by all means, please reach out. Hope you're having an amazing day. Take care.